尊敬的施瓦布主席先生，
Professor Klaus Schwab,
尊敬的各位政府首脑，
distinguished heads of government,
各位贵宾、
distinguished
女士
guests,
们、先生们、
ladies and gentlemen,
朋友们，
friends.
很高兴和大家在
It's a
天
great
津
pleasure
又一次相聚。
to meet you again in
首
Tianjin.
先，我代表中国政府
At the outset,
对
I wish to
夏季达沃
congratulate
斯论坛的
on
召开
behalf of the Chinese government
热烈的
the
祝福
opening of this
对
annual
远道
meeting
而来
of
的
the new champions and
嘉宾
extend a sincere
和
welcome
媒
to
体
all
界
our
的朋友
guests and
表
friends
示热烈的
from the
欢迎。
press.
本次论坛啊是第10届
This is
在中国
the
举办的
10th
夏季
annual meeting of the new champions, or Summer Davos, in China.
叫做
We have a saying in
10
China,
年树木。
it takes 10
如果
years
把
to
这个
grow a
论
tree.
坛比作树
If we
木的话，
compare the Summer Davos
经
to a
过
tree,
10年的成长，特别是
then after 10 years of
各位的
careful nurturing,
精心
especially
培育，可以说
with the efforts of all of
现在已
you
经
present,
枝繁
this
叶茂，
tree has
每
borne
年
rich
都有
foliage and
累累
bountiful
的收获。
fruits,
这不仅向世界
showcasing to the
展
world
示着中国
the
改革
process
开放和现代
and
化建设的
achievements
进程，
of China's reform, opening
也
up
为
and
中国
modernization,
和世界共同
and
走
contributing
向
wisdom
发展和繁荣
and strength
提供
to the common development and prosperity of China
提
and the
供
world.
智慧和力量。
It has also provided an important platform for our joint efforts.
国际金融危机爆发8年过
When
去了，
the international
但是
financial crisis
世界经济
broke
的
out
复苏
8 years
远不
ago,
及预期。
um,
全球投资
countries have
贸易
resorted to various
增长
tools
低迷，
to overcome the
大宗
crisis.
商品
However, 8 years
和
on,
金融市场
recovery has fallen
不时
far
动
short
荡
of people's expectations.
发达国家和新兴经济
Global
体
trade and investment is lackluster.
地缘政治
Commodities and
风险
financial markets experience volatility from time to time. Growth prospects of developed countries and emerging economies are diverging, and there's growing geopolitical risks and uncertainties.
国际金融市场的影响。
A few days ago, the Britons voted out of the European Union in a referendum. Its impact is already demonstrating on the international financial market, and it is
进一步的
adding new uncertainties to the world economy.
推动世界经济
Under
复苏
such circumstances,
各国经济增
to
长，
promote world economic recovery and the economic growth of all countries,
提振信
we
心，
need to
来营造
jointly
稳定
tackle
的
challenges, strengthen our
国
confidence,
际环境。
and create a stable international environment, find solutions to address the root causes together.
欧洲是中国
I want to
重要的
make it clear that Europe is an important partner for China, and China will continue to be committed
中欧
to
中英关系。
maintaining and growing China-EU relations and China-UK relations. We hope to see a united and stable European Union. We also hope to see a stable and
英国
prosperous UK.
在全球化的大背景下，
Against the background of globalization,
都不可能离开
it is
世界
impossible
经济环境
for us to
去谈本国的发展，
talk about our own development
需要
with no regard for the international economic
携手
environment.
共进。
Therefore, we need to work together
这次
to make progress through joint efforts.
以第4次工业革命转型的力量为主
The，theme of this year's session,
可以说啊，
the fourth industrial revolution and its transformational
全球
impact,
发展转型
has offered people a new perspective
具有
to
现实。
seek economic transformation.
我愿意
Therefore, it is a relevant, highly relevant theme for discussion. And here I want to share with you a few thoughts in this
经
connection.
济 稳定复
First,
苏
to
需要
promote
积极
stable
实施
recovery of the world economy, we need to actively
解决
carry out structural
世
reforms.
界经济
To
深
address
层
the
次的矛盾，
deep-seated problems in the world economy,
既要加强
we need to
需求管理，
both strengthen
又要着力
demand
推进
management
结构性改革，
and concentrate our efforts on structural reform in order to eliminate
尽
root
管
causes.
不尽相同，
Although countries vary in their
总的
national
方向还是要针对
circumstances,
经济失衡，
they should all move in the same direction of addressing economic imbalance with a focus
促进竞
on
争，支
advancing
持创新，
fiscal and financial reform,
协力
easing
促进世界经济
restrictions, promoting competition, supporting innovation, expanding, opening up, and work together to promote strong, sustainable, and balanced world economic growth. Second, to promote stable recovery of the world economy, it is imperative to speed up economic transformation and upgrading. For the world economy to walk out of the woods, the ultimate solution lies in transforming growth pattern and
转变。
replacing old drivers with new drivers.
转型需要利用世界新一轮
To
科技革命
promote economic transformation, we need
利
to
于兴起，
seize the opportunity provided
历史性经济
by the new round of industrial revolution and scientific and technological revolution to give boost to the growth of new economy and the upgrading of traditional
政策
industries.
的着力点放到
The various
转型
parties
升级上，
need to adapt to the prevailing trend and focus their policies on supporting economic
第三，
transformation
推
and
动世界
upgrading
经济
and
稳定复苏，
giving
离不开
stronger momentum to economic
高效
growth.
有序
Third,
的
to promote
全球
world
治理
economic
面对
recovery,
共同的
we
挑
need
战，唯有
efficient
同
and
舟
orderly
共济，
global governance.
才能
In the face of common
一起
challenges,
达人，使
only by
正
strengthening unity
通
we'll be able
各
to
国
help
应
all to
采取
succeed,
更多
and this is the
增
only
长
right way
友好的
forward.
政策，加
Countries
强宏观政策
must
协调，
adopt more
坚定
growth-friendly
不同的
policies, strengthen macro-policy
投资自由
coordination,
化，
steadfastly advance trade and investment
致力于
liberalization and
构建
facilitation,
更加
and
公平、公正、开放
endeavor
的
to build
国际经济
a
体系。
fairer, more just and
世界主要经济
open
体
international
在制定
economic system.
宏观政策时，
For the
不仅
world
要
major
考虑
economies,
自身的
while
经济
formulating macroeconomic policies, they should not only consider their own growth, but also the spillovers of these policies,
这个地球村。
because we all live in the same global village.
女士们、先生们，
Ladies and
经
gentlemen,
过多年的快速
having
增长，
experienced years of rapid
中国经
growth,
济
the Chinese economy has entered a new normal.
这也是大家十分关心的。
And
面
this
对
is
持
also
续较
a
大
topic of
经
keen
济下
interest to all of you. In the face of mounting economic downward pressure, we did not resort to indiscriminate strong stimulus. Instead, we have innovated the means of macro control, advanced structural reform,
改造
and
提升
focus our efforts on cultivating new drivers and upgrading traditional
经
drivers.
济的稳定增
And
长。
over the past few years, we have maintained a stable economic growth, and we continue to lead the world's major economies in growth speed.
结构
And more importantly, we have made positive progress in structural
一
adjustment.
路走来啊，可以说充满
The journey we have traveled over these past few years is filled with risks and challenges.
是心动
Yet it is encouraging that
快速
the
增长。
new drivers are growing rapidly.
尽管目前在规模
Although they cannot yet compare with traditional drivers in size,
但它在
they
保障就业、
do play
增加
a
收
bigger
入，
role now in securing employment, increasing people's
乃至在
income,
推动发展
promoting transformation and
正在发
upgrading,
挥着
and
越来
also
越大的作用。
supporting development. Given time,
异军突起
the rising
新动能
new
必将撑起未
drivers
来
will
中国
open up
经济的。
new prospects for the Chinese economy.
正像本次会议的主题一样，
Like the theme of this year's annual meeting,
新的产业革命
we are embracing a new round of industrial revolution.
在世界经济增长
This year,
继续放缓的背景下，
despite the continued slowdown of world economic growth, the Chinese economy has maintained overall stability and made
保
steady
持在
progress,
合理区间。
and it has been kept well within the appropriate range. This is indeed not easy.
5%、
China's GDP expanded by 6.7% in the first quarter
继续保持
and continued stable growth in the second quarter.
夏粮有望再获
Summer grain production is expected to
工
be
业
a
企业
harvest
效率
again.
回稳提升，
Corporate profits in the industrial sector are steadily rising. The service industry is rapidly growing,
CPI
and market sales are steadily expanding. CPI is basically stable. Drop in PPI has been narrowed. Energy intensity and the pollution and emission of major pollutants continue to drop. In
保持
particular,
着稳定。
employment has been kept stable.
仅城
In the
镇
first 5
新
months
增
of this year,
就业人口
in the urban
达
sector
到
alone,
577万人，
5.77 million new jobs were created, completing
58%
58% of the annual target.
5月份，31个大城
And
市城镇
the
调查失业率
surveyed unemployment rate in 31 major cities in May was 5.02%.
这样一个水平。
And the
上半年中国经济
unemployment rate has been kept
还表现在
at this
改革
level
创新和
for the past few years.
转型
And also,
有新
in
的
the first half of this year, the stable growth of the Chinese economy is very much attributed to the role of innovation, reform, adjustment, and transformation.
万众创
We
新，
have made great efforts to promote mass innovation and entrepreneurship.
天是4
Every
万
day, about 40,000 new market entities are created, including over
3万户，
13,000
今年
new
1到5月份的
enterprises.
增长
In the first 5 months of this year,
是高于
the growth speed in the creation of new market entities
前2年。
has been higher than the previous 2 years.
消费的主导作用，
At the same time,
服务业
the
的
leading role of
成为第一
consumption
大产业的
is strengthening, and the service industry is becoming the largest industry in the economy.
智能通讯、
New forms of consumption,
新能源汽车
such
等
as
新兴消
information
费迅
communication,
速扩大。
smartphones, and new energy
所谓
vehicles are
旅
booming.
游、文化、
The
体育
5
健康、养老5大幸福
happiness
产业
industries,
快速
namely
发展
tourism, culture,
既
sports,
拉动了
education,
消费增
and
长，也
health
促进了
and old age care
消费
are rapidly growing,
升级。
and they have
还有一个方面
promoted
就是
the
和本次
upgrading
会议
of
主题有
consumption.
关的中国的新技术、
And
新业
also,
态、
new
新经济、
technologies,
在
new business forms,
快速
and a new economy are flourishing in
高端
China.
的制造业、电子商务、
High-end manufacturing,
一些
e-commerce,
转型升级
and
的产业
other
也在
sectors that are going
快速
through
的
transformation and
发展。
upgrading are also
新产业增
advancing
长
by
在
leaps and bounds.
企业、行业、地区保持着
Enterprises,
良好的势头。
industries, and regions that have started transformation
中国
earlier
经济的
and
结
developed
构
new
在
industries
优化，
faster have
质量
maintained a sound
在提
momentum
升，
of growth. So on the
动
whole,
能
the
在
Chinese
提升。
economy now has improved structure,
我们也
enhanced
认识，
quality, and a growing
由于
momentum.
国际环境复杂
On the
严
other
峻，
hand, we're also
国内
aware that
长期积累
because
的
of
深
the
层次矛盾
complex
出
and
现，
severe international
中国
environment
经济稳定运行的
and
基
the
础
deep-seated problems that have
还有
accumulated
脆弱的一面。
over the years in
外
the
需 对
domestic
增长的
economy,
拉动
the
力
foundation of the stable operation of the
零件投
Chinese
资
economy is
和
not
制造
yet
业
firmly
投资
established. The impact
金
of
融
external demand
等领域
in driving
存在
growth is waning,
风
and
险
private
隐患
investment and
一些
manufacturing investment
产能
are
严重
sluggish,
过
and there
剩
are still
行业
potential
和
risks
经济
in
结构
finance and other
单一地
sectors.
区矛盾
In those industries with
经济
serious
下行的压
overcapacity
力
and
简单
regions
讲了
with
困难
unitary
是不
economic
能
structure, there are still quite a number of
我们
difficulties, and the
正视
downward pressure on the
坦诚
economy is
困
still mounting,
查查表明
and the difficulties
我们有
cannot be
决心
underestimated. The fact that we
有能力
have
战胜
faced
困难
up to these difficulties
中国的希望
and admitted these difficulties
始终
shows that we have the confidence, determination, and the capability to prevail over the difficulties. There's more hope than difficulty in the Chinese
宏观
economy.
政策也
The
将
fundamentals of the Chinese economy have remained unchanged, and our macro policy will maintain its continuity and stability. And we will continue to innovate the model of macro control, implement the proactive fiscal policy with greater intensity and efficiency, carry out the prudent monetary policy in a flexible and appropriate fashion, and channel more resources into areas that can help strengthen the weak links, increase momentum, and take development to a new level, and also to areas that can help promote economic transformation and upgrading. At present, the debt ratio of the Chinese government is about 40%, while the debt ratio of the central government is only about 16%, which is fairly low among the world's major economies. Well, this gives us space in carrying out a proactive fiscal policy. We have high domestic savings rate, which means the potential for the development of multi-tiered capital market, and latitude in improving financial regulation and optimizing the allocating of financial resources. We can create conditions and use market tools to gradually bring down corporate leverage ratio and financing costs. We do not only have ample policy tools to keep the economy within an appropriate range, but also the capability to fend off systemic and regional risks. In this transitional stage, short-term fluctuations of China's economic growth are hardly avoidable. And there might be changes in the various traditional economic indicators. But we should also see and understand that some of the changes brought out by the development of the new economy are not yet fully visible. We need to promote economic transformation through structural reform and keep the economy within the appropriate range. So the Chinese economy will not head for a hard landing, and we are fully capable of meeting all the primary targets of economic and social development for this year. The Chinese economy has huge potential, strong advantage, and a broad space, and the prospect of the economy is bright. We are the largest developing country in the world, and we have over 900 million workforce, including over 170 million who have received higher education or training of professional skills. We are also the largest manufacturing country in the world, a major trading nation of goods and services, and also a major destination and a source of foreign investment. China is also the second largest consumer market in the world, and China's middle-income population is in hundreds of millions, and it is still steadily expanding. And the rural poor population is declining year by year. The number of permanently registered urban population is increasing by tens of millions every year. China is an emerging market with huge growth potential. And it is also a big stage where the talent of people can be fully explored. We welcome investors from both home and abroad to seize the opportunity provided by the Chinese market and develop their business in China. We are and will always be optimistic about the Chinese economy. Optimism is a sign of confidence. In a market economy, confidence can guide expectation. So confidence in itself is a strong strength and power.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Chinese economy is at an important stage of growth driver transition and economic transformation. We will focus on development as the top priority, pursue innovative, coordinated, green, open, and shared development as identified in the 13th Five-Year Plan. While expanding aggregate demand, we will steadfastly advance supply-side structural reform, cut overcapacity, destock, deleverage, lower the costs, and strengthen the weak links, so that development can be less reliant on natural resources and be more driven by human resources and innovation, thus enabling the Chinese economy to maintain medium-high growth rate and achieve medium-high development. We will guide economic transformation and upgrading through innovation. Innovation is the primary driving force of development. We need to implement the strategy of innovation-driven development, build an innovation-driven country. We need to fully harness the vision of innovation. This requires us to develop the new economy and cultivate new growth drivers. We need to vigorously promote mass entrepreneurship and innovation, further advance the Internet Plus initiative, extensively apply the Internet of Things, big data, cloud computing, and other information technology of the new generation, promote integrated development of different areas, and give rise to more new industries, new business forms, and business models. We need to roll out new products and new services that better meet the needs of the market and build platforms for mass participation, cloud sourcing, cloud support, and cloud funding to pool strengths to accelerate innovation and foster new areas of economic growth. Yesterday, I visited a company in Tianjin with only 270 staff. But he established a cloud computing platform. About 200,000 software developers were registered in this platform, and through this platform, these developers or programmers can provide their new designs. And this company itself, through this platform, can seek solutions from these programmers. They have a very equitable distribution model. When we talk about developing new growth drivers, it doesn't mean that we no longer need transformation and upgrading of traditional industries. In fact, the new economy is also transforming traditional industries. The company I just mentioned actually serves 40,000 companies. Most of them are in traditional industries. More than 15% of those enterprises are big companies. And this tech firm mainly provide smart upgrading of the equipments of those companies and provide software solutions to these companies so that the company's manufacturing can be smarter and more customized and can better meet the needs of the market. There are so many such companies of this kind emerging in China, and it shows that traditional growth drivers are being transformed into new growth drivers, and they are giving rise to new forms of business. We advocate the vision of innovation, and it also refers to a spirit of sharing. Sharing economy is also one that encourages mass participation. The spread of economic globalization and the Internet has provided broad space for people to start up business and innovate. We will, through mass innovation and entrepreneurship, combine the innovative activities of the elites and grassroots, the offline and online, the enterprises and the research institutes, so as to combine the individual actions of numerous market players into synergy. When we combine these forces, we will create great synergy. This can help promote cooperation and sharing of R&D, professional knowledge, and professional skills. Sharing economy is a economy that everyone can participate in and benefit from. It can help contribute to reasonable income distribution and provide a chance for everyone, a fighting chance for everyone to achieve their dreams. It will also allow everyone to live up to their fullest potential, and it could also help enhance social equity. We will comprehensively deepen reform to promote economic transformation and upgrading. Reform remains the source of strength for our development. Supply-side structural reform is a priority for us. The Chinese economy faces some structural problems, both on the supply and demand side, but mainly on the supply side. We need to use reform to advance structural adjustments, reduce inefficient and low-end supply, and expand efficient and medium-high-end supply. This could help transform our economy and also promote economic growth. An important aspect is to phase out outdated production capacities. What is important is to cut overcapacity in steel, coal, and other difficult industries. We need to adopt a market-based and rules-based approach, apply strict standards in environment protection, quality, and safety. And the biggest challenge is how to address possible layoffs. The enterprises need to take multiple measures to ensure that their employees can be re-employed. And the central and local governments need to provide support in taking care of the staffs. Overcapacity is a global issue. We will take initiative to cut overcapacity, and this is what a responsible country would do. We will further streamline administration, delegate power, strengthen regulation, and improve services, build a level playing field, delegate government powers wherever possible, and give more freedom to the market, and also strengthen regulation during and after the handling of the matters. We also need to explore inclusive and effective prudential regulation, support and guide the healthy development of new business models. For those that find themselves in trouble but are moving in the right direction, we need to give them timely guidance, remove the risks. But we can't stop eating for fear of choking. We need to give them reasonable space for development. For those involved in IPR infringement, fraud, in the name of innovation, we will punish them strictly according to law. We will also open the platform for government public services and promote sharing of government information to make things easier for the people and enterprises and enhance the efficiency of government services. We will also make great efforts to cut taxes and lower the burden for the companies so that the financial sector can better serve the real economy. We will further streamline the state-owned enterprises and give more market access to the private sector. And we'll also promote economic transformation and upgrading through opening up. No matter how developed China becomes in the future, we must have mutual learning with the rest of the world, and will open wider to the outside world. We'll further enhance our open economy, open wider our services industry and manufacturing industry, provide more investment opportunities for foreign businesses, and build a more fair, transparent, and predictable investment environment. All companies registered in China, be it Chinese or foreign-funded, joint venture or independently owned, we will treat them all as equals. In the face of the complexities and the fluctuations in the international financial markets, we'll stay committed to a managed floating exchange rate regime based on market supply and demand, with reference to a basket of currencies.
中国经济的基本
The
面决定
fundamentals of the Chinese economy determine that there is no basis for persistent devaluation of the RMB. We have the
保持
capacity
人民币
to
在
keep the
合
RMB
理均衡水平上
stable at an adaptive and
中国还
equilibrium
将
level.
坚定不移地
China
走
will
和平
stay
发展道路
committed
坚
to
持
peaceful
互利共
development
赢的
and an
开放
win-win
战略，
strategy of
对于
opening
各
up.
国一道
We stand
共同
ready to
推
work
动
with all countries
包容
to
平
promote
等
inclusive and
绿色
balanced
和
growth
持续发展
and green and sustainable
先生
development. Ladies and gentlemen,
是中国的一个大
Tianjin
也
is
是一
a
个可以参与
major
世
port
界
in
级
China.
竞争的大
It is also a major
从
port
这
that
里可
can
以走向
participate in
浩瀚的
international competition. It is
去
a
远远
starting
航
point
需要
of a voyage
持
to
久
the
和
vast
强劲的
oceans.
动力
For a
我们
giant
愿意
ship to sail
世
far,
界
sustained
各
and
国一
strong
道
momentum
紧
is
紧抓住
required.
新
We
一
stand
轮
ready to work with the rest of
科
the
技
world
和
to seize the
工业革
opportunities
命的
of the new
机遇
round of
寻求
technological and
转型的
industrial
力量
revolution,
共同打造
seek
经济增长
new drivers
新
of
的
growth,
引擎
build
擎
new
推
engines
动
of
世
economic
界经济在
growth,
转型中
and
走向
promote
复苏
steady
稳定
recovery of the
为
world
人
economy
类社会发
in
展
transformation
创
and
造更加
upgrading so as to
美好
usher in a better
祝
future
本届
for
论
the
坛圆
development
满
of
成功
human society. I wish the meeting a full success. Thank you.